Alright guys, so hello and welcome back to our F1 2015 championship season mode, let's play series thing. Yeah, as you can see, we're on our second race now, Malaysia. Currently sat fourth in the drivers' stand-in, second in the constructors, so we have got a bit of making up to do with this Grand Prix.
Welcome to Malaysia as we head into the all-important qualifying session. The drivers are raring to go, and we're just waiting for the lights to go green to signify the start of the qualifying hour. Well, the weather's certainly going to cause a few problems for the drivers here in Malaysia. It's currently raining, and we could see some teams struggling to get the best out of their cars today in what are really difficult conditions.
Well, it will certainly have an impact on today's qualifying, and some drivers are natural in the wet, but others might not be looking forward to getting out on track and having to tiptoe their way around.
Okay, so here we go with our first flying lapping, well, the only qualifying lap that I did actually, well, no, I said, doing this very badly, went back to the full qualifying, so you got Q1, Q2, Q3, obviously it goes 20 to 16, 16 to 10, 10 to pole, as in Q1, Q2, Q3. We obviously got through to Q3, obviously being in a Ferrari. So yeah, it had been raining a bit I did do a few practice laps. It was sort of spitting here and there, but we managed to do a few laps on the primes. First two sessions of qualifying were absolutely torrential rain, so I was sort of sat here thinking, right, we just need to bomb out a lap on the options. We're running a medium to high downforce setup, obviously to sort of accommodate just in case it does rain, and obviously if it rains in the race, because obviously at this point we're on Park Ferme setup, so we can't change anything now except for front wing downforce. So yeah, we're just coming through to the end of the second sector now. Malaysia is not one of my best tracks, I will hands up admit that right now. It's also one of my least favourite. I don't know, it's something about this track I just do not like. So yeah, I don't really perform the best I could around here. As you can see, sort of locking up into that penultimate corner there. There's just so many corners where you have to take the most weird lines in to obviously maximise the exit, and it's just, I don't know, I just don't prefer it. But yeah, we're coming up to the end of our flying lap now. Just coming around the last corner. Got to try and sort of maximise the exit on this corner to sort of open up the DRS, bomb it down a straight line to the start-finish straight, and there we have it. We did set the fastest lap, but yeah, as you'll see in just a second, we didn't quite hold that position.
It's been a mighty qualifying performance from Mercedes today, with both cars on the front row for the race tomorrow.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
To the Sopping International Circuit, where the cars are already on the grid as we gear up to start the main event. On pole today is Lewis Hamilton. The Mercedes was dominant during qualifying, and with the power unit advantage, well, you just can't see anybody challenging for that race win today.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, we got dropped down to 5th by the end of qualifying, but here we go, 5 red lights, and away we go. As you can see, absolutely pissing it down with rain. I was gutted when the camera panned around and I saw it was raining, because I can't do this track good enough as it is in the dry, as we go absolutely careering into Felipe Massa there in the first corner. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it was the setup we was running, just there was no sort of grip on those front tyres whatsoever. We honestly, until it dried out, we was all over the place. I'm surprised we didn't end up retiring, to be honest, or getting even disqualified. The amount of times I accidentally ran into cars where, as you can see, the front brakes just locking up under the smallest amount of brake pressure. So yeah, as you can see, just dumping the bias back to the back tyres. That was the only real way that I could fix that whole problem, to be honest with you. But yeah, we've sort of made up a place, albeit maybe not the most clean overtake. So we're now up into 4th. We're just trying to sort of keep Bottas behind us. Massa, we're obviously trying to close in on. I really was desperate to find out when this rain would end. So yeah, that radio message I just got there, 20 minutes of rain as we go spearing off to the left after the hairpin, dropping all the way down to 7th. Yeah, so 20 minutes of rain. That sort of equated to about lap 10 10 or 11, sort of the rain easing up at least, but by no means did that mean we could come off the wets. So yeah, you obviously see that play out later. But while this is happening, I just want to quickly talk about the channel. We've had a slight dip in viewership, sort of all of that, Twitter followers as well. I know yesterday, well, I say yesterday, like this is being recorded on Tuesday, there wasn't any content go up. That is our fault. I thought Scott would be recording something, turns out he did, but it didn't turn out quite good. And we are very sort of, like, we do only want to put up good content. Yeah, as we cut to sort of about halfway through this lap here, second lap even, sort of watching Raikkonen and I think that was Ricciardo there, yeah, going at each other. Raikkonen gets past, shoves Ricciardo back into us. We lock up and absolutely send him straight off, ourselves too, but we managed to come off cleaner. But yeah, back to the channel. Yeah, so obviously no content yesterday. Scott had recorded something, but it didn't turn out good. We only want to put up good content. We don't want to be a YouTube channel that just whores itself out for views, likes, revenue, any of that. We're only going to play games we enjoy, etc. We're not going to sort of just do it for the sake of doing it. We're going to do it because we enjoy it. Yeah, brilliant driving there. I mean, at this point, I really wasn't enjoying this race at all. But yeah, so you should see a bit more regular content this week. I mean, I'm off work today and tomorrow. I don't know when Scott's working, but I'm really sort of hoping he can get a video up as we lose it again in the rain. The car was just too hard to control. It was terrible, really. There's no other word for it. It was an absolutely shambolic performance from me. But yeah, so back to the race now. Lap 12 coming in for our first pit stop. We was actually scheduled to come in on lap 14, but I thought I would try and get the undercut, considering the rain would be easing up very soon. I wanted to try and sort of be on a good set of wets by the time everyone else was coming in for inters. So yeah, we pit in. It was a pretty good stop actually. I think it was only a what's that, 2.5? 2.9. I can't really, I'm sort of watching this on the Movie Studio Platinum window, so not the best quality, but again, like sort of under 3 seconds. That's not too bad of a pit stop, to be honest. It could have been a lot worse. But yeah, we come out of the pits after about 12 laps of hovering around no one to the most exciting looking overtake train I've ever seen. We dropped the fuel, no, we would have upped the fuel, sorry, into standard, so it would give us a bit more power as we go around the outsider button, cock up the move, lose the back end, and he gets back through. Yeah, so at this point I was sort of fed up of being as far back as I was, brakes locking up again, even with the bias shoved all the way back to the rear. It was impossible to slow down for these corners. I don't know whether that's just my driving style, whether I'm a bit hard on the brakes. Yeah, but sort of I really did struggle with this race. As we get past button there, coming into the second sector now, we do exactly the same as we did to Ricciardo twice in a row now. So that poor little Aussie bastard in his little Red Bull has been shot off the track twice by us. What a terrible show. Yep, so Button got through us back there as we went off the track again, so we're now just trying to hang it around the outside, make the move complete. There we go, he tucks in behind us, that's that done. Yeah, so now we're coming round through the last sector. Quite a nice fast-paced sector this, apart from, well, the final two corners really. This corner, I swear to God, is the hardest one to get a good line on, as Grosjean clatters into us, hand of frustration goes up. That allows Sainz to get away. It was all a bit of a shambles really. So yeah, now we're cutting back, start of the next lap, right up behind Sainz. Got a Sauber obviously in front of him, so we're just trying to sort of keep it nice and clean through the exits of these corners, even though it's still raining hard. Yeah, trying to maximise speed, get ahead, because obviously we obviously have more power than the Toro Rosso and the Sauber, obviously, demonstrating that as again we lock up into that same corner for probably what was the 14th time, I'm going to be perfectly honest. So that allowed both Sainz and NASA straight through again. We sort of try and stick close to NASA. Obviously the dirty air gives us no front grip, so we run wide there on the outside of that corner. Now just trying to keep it very gentle through these corners, like these double right-handers. If you don't nail the first one, you've cocked up the second one. So you've really got to sort of be on it with that corner. But yeah, we take a bit of a dive bomb there, completely locking up. Managed to get past Signs. He's dropped down quite a bit, so we managed to tuck back in onto the racing line as we cut again. End of lap 14 now, so you got Verstappen and that would be Ericsson diving off into the pits to have their first scheduled stop, obviously, because we had ours before. So yeah, now we're coming up on Maldonado at lap 15. The way I'm doing this, sort of the format of this show is like any laps that nothing interesting happens, I will cut out. There's no point in you sitting here watching me for 10 minutes just drive around the track with no one in front of me, no one behind me making moves. Maldonado, they're doing his signature, I'm going to crash into something. That really helped us out as we go careering off on lap 16. At this point the track was drying out. We'd had a message from the engineer at the start of the third sector to come in for inters, so we did that a bit hastily perhaps. So yeah, I think Massa had come in either this lap or the lap before actually for his inters, so he already had a bit of a head start on us. Yeah, another good stop here by the Ferrari team, 2 point. I don't know what that number says. I'm doing really good at this. But yeah, sort of, how many laps is that now? 11 racing laps to go, soon to be 10 actually. But yeah, gaining a second lap on Perez on the inters sort of just shows the difference in speed that I can sort of manage to get out of the car on, like, between intermediates and wets. Like, it's absolutely insane how terrible I am driving really in the wet with full wets. Inters I can sort of handle, as we've got Ricciardo now right up our backside. I think he's going to make an attempt under DRS to get past us on this straight. But yeah, sort of sitting pretty in 7th. Obviously it's not where we want to be. We obviously want to be up in 2nd. We want to be as far up the field as we can. We want to be challenging for the lead. We do not want to be sat like in the sort of like the middle low end of the points. Like this is not the performance a Ferrari driver should be making. So yeah, again, nothing interesting in that lap apart from the brief move there from Ricciardo. But here we go again, Ricciardo. You can see him darting about in our rear view mirrors, coming up around the outside into turn 1. He manages to stick his nose out very close there. DRS has obviously been enabled now, but we managed to hold him off. Ricciardo drops back. We maintain 7th place. Probably the most happy I've ever been to be in that position. But yeah, sort of, I think it's either this lap or the next lap, as we go locking up into that hairpin. Ricciardo goes straight through, all of that great defending for nothing. Yeah, the track was obviously really starting to dry out now, so this was the point in time where I was sort of debating whether to come in for options, because obviously where it was a wet start we don't have to use each of the dry compounds in a race. You can literally just go straight from wet into option, finish the race. So yeah, I was sort of debating whether to come in or not, because I thought maybe I'd be able to handle the car on inters on the dry track for one more lap, but obviously that would completely burn out the rubber. There'd be no grip there whatsoever. So yeah, Ricciardo dives off into the pits. I did manage to stay out for one extra lap. As you can see on screen now, the rain is really starting to ease up. Like, you know, the sky's getting a bit lighter. It's all really sort of getting a bit better racing conditions now. And obviously we've got Massa right up ahead now, so this is sort of us perhaps trying to come back into the race. But no, I don't know what it is, but obviously where the game doesn't tell you, the player, what the weather forecast is for that weekend, the AI have a tremendous advantage because they can do whatever setup they want. They will know what is happening that race weekend as we now come into the pits for our first dry stop. Yeah, so I don't know what setup the AI was running, but it was impossible for me to catch up with them. I don't know why, I don't know how. Even on the back straights with DRS, it was just bloody ridiculous trying to catch up with them. As we get held up in the pits there by Button. Yeah, so now we're on options, obviously the faster of the 2 dry compounds. This was it now. You know, I was fed up of sitting at the back of the points field really. It was just full on attack from now on. Like, you'll see a complete difference in my driving style from where I was on the wets to now. Like, at this point I didn't really care, as you can see with that amazing exit on that corner there. Button goes flying past us. Signs too, actually. Yep, so there's going to be... obviously, we're trying to play catch-up, sorry. Getting a bit tongue-tied here. Yep, so trying to just keep signs in our sights. Obviously, we know we have the faster car, especially over Button. Signs, obviously, as proven last year, the Toro Rosso was actually surprisingly powerful. Oh, bloody Nora. Surprisingly powerful. So we're just obviously got past signs there on the penultimate corner, just locking up completely. Button breaks off into the pits. That gives us 8th place. Now we just need to focus on getting back up to 7th. I mean, this race has just been absolutely terrible, and turns out we got into 7th somewhere along the line. Right, good editing there, Nick. So yeah, now we've got Perez in our sights. I mean, considering we started in 5th, and Malaysia isn't a good track for me, the rain certainly isn't a good weather for me. In hindsight, 7th isn't too bad of a finishing place. Like, it could have been a lot worse, especially with like just some of the spins that I was having throughout the race. Like, I've cut out quite a few, but there was a lot coming out of the last corner. You know, obviously you've seen me locking up quite a bit into turn 3. No, turn 4. Yeah, turn 4. You know, locking up here, there and everywhere, spinning here, there and everywhere. This hairpin in particular, probably a place for both, actually. But yeah, we've sort of got past Perez up into 6th. That's all good and well. Perez now making an attack down the main straight with DRS open. We tuck in behind him, get the slipstream, make an absolute heroic attempt at a dive bomb up the inside into turn 1, get the move done nice and easy, fend him off, and just unleash the car down into turn 3. And yeah, so cut into lap 25 now, behind a lapped car. Didn't want to pull over for some reason. Decided to try and cut the corner to get around us, and absolutely clobbered us. Yeah, left front end plate came off. The car was absolutely wrecked at this point. I was fuming. I was full and ready to rage quit at that point. It was just not happening. I couldn't believe it. And we obviously got the warning. It was Will Stevens again. Absolute joke there, just from the AI, the penalty system, the blue flags, all of it. So yeah, coming in on lap 26 now for another set of options, getting our front wing repaired. We've now dropped down to 10th. I couldn't believe the luck I was having this race. It was just absolutely shambolic. Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to think of what to say, really. I mean, the video sort of says it all, doesn't it? It was just absolutely terrible weather, terrible driving, terrible moves, terrible setup, just everything. The only way it could have gone worse was if I retired, because, you know, like, sort of sitting in 11th now, I was sort of thinking, what is the point? So I could full well retire and be no worse off, but I decided not to. I could well have retired the car. I didn't want to. Maldonado was in our sights. That would, you know, get past Maldonado. That's like, what, 1 point in the Drivers' Championship. 1 point is better than no point at the end of the day. So now we're just like, you know, sort of penultimate lap. We're just absolutely going for it. We've got fresh rubber. Track's dried out now. You know, we've got relatively slow car ahead of us. You know, opened up the DRS. Again, like, just going back to what I said earlier, I could not catch up with the AI, even under DRS. It was just not happening. And I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I just do not know. But I could not catch up to them. It was, yeah, like, look how long it's taking me to get up behind a Lotus, of all cars, in a Ferrari. Just, it was really difficult, this race. But yeah. Just been told to watch our fuel. Hamilton comes across the line to win the Malaysian Grand Prix. So yeah, 25 points to him again, extending Mercedes Constructors' lead. All we had to hope was that Raikkonen finished somewhere near there as we drop it down into lean, come across the line, 10th place. Absolute shit show of a race. Absolutely terrible.
No doubt about the driver of the day today. It's Lewis Hamilton, whose Mercedes was just too strong for the opposition. It's another win for the British driver.
It really was a wonderful performance, and one that the team will be celebrating for some time to come.
There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
So yeah, that really says it all, doesn't it, to be honest. You know, we're sort of stupid amount of points behind the Mercedes in the Constructors. We're sat 4th now in the Drivers' Championship. We could have done a lot better. I think the next race is Bahrain, which, brilliant actually, another one of my least favourite tracks. Yeah, a night race as well, so here we go, we've got the first night race of the season coming up next episode. Thank you very much for watching. I know this hasn't been the best video to watch for you guys, it was pretty terrible for me to watch as well. But thank you for watching, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. See you next time guys, thank you.